Nigerian women movement. Ọ̀pọ̀ wọn kéwú àfáà wọn ni màmá. Màmá ló gbà mí sí Union Bank. Wọ́n wá pò sí sá bàbá. Mo bá jẹ́ ìṣẹ̀lá ìlọ. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni bàbá yẹn máa ń jà. Àwọn onímọ̀ mi ṣe ń ṣe pé wá gbowó. Àwọn onímọ̀ bá yín ṣe ń bí ìta. Ọlọ́run lè bá wí ilé àwọn ìpínlẹ̀ dàkún. Ẹ lè lọ fi mí sí stọ̀. Ọ̀wọ́ ìrẹ̀wọ̀n tó tẹ̀ lórí mi. And they now put me upstairs. And I was working seriously in the mat. Tá a bá tún ṣe tó àti kúrò sára iṣẹ́ oníṣẹ́ àmàtúgbà. Nígbà òye àṣà àwọn ọmọ náà gbé mi sí ìkántà. Those are the miracle of determination. My second point, Mira said I should define, and it's the landing point of my brother. Education, education, education.
صلوا على النبي الكريم. صلوا على النبي المصطفى. I thank you all for understanding and for your goodwill sent to me. I want to respond first to a question sent by either a brother or a sister. He wrote it. Said that you refer to angels as zombies, and that is derogatory. I don't think calling angels zombies is derogatory. They are zombies of Allah. Actually, you are a slave of Allah, and slavery is not good. But you can be a slave of Allah. And how do you define angels? They do what Allah asks them to do. That's why they are zombies. You human beings, you are not zombies. Because Allah asks you to do, you may not do. He's waiting for you one day, definitely. But the angels have no choice. They just do what Allah asks them to do. And if you look at the meaning of zombie, it has nothing derogatory about it. The pejorative nature came along. Just like when they call us black. I bet you know that black actually is pejorative. Because I've never seen a truly black person, like as black as the hijab of my sister did. Just like I've not seen a white man as white as that your dress. It is just European anthropology that tries to put Africa down. So, zombie of Allah. Wallahi, I would like to be Allah's zombie. Now, about the question of the language barrier, I don't see it as a problem. First and foremost, Arabic is the language of Islam. And some people have said that perhaps we can say our salat and so on in our language, that Allah understands all languages. But it is a plus that at the same time we all face the same Kaaba and we all say salat in Arabic. And when you use a language, it becomes smooth for you. When we go to Saudi Arabia, for example, and we want to have a language that their police can understand, then we want to make them polyglots. Because they will have to learn perhaps all the major languages in the world. They will learn English, they will learn Chinese, they will learn Russian, and I will not be surprised if we go by population and power. It will be very long before they will learn Yoruba. So that at the end of it all, it is opportunity for us and a challenge for us to learn Arabic. My younger brother just came visiting. He's the missioner of Nasfat in the States. And he continues to go to do Arabic after masters in business administration, after degree in this and that. He has gone back to do a degree in Arabic and Islamic studies. And yesterday he went to my shelf. There's this book, Conversational Arabic, I bought from Saudi Arabia some 10 years ago. It has cassette, it has book. And he took them away. I just said, please, drop them and bring them back. In other words, we can do conversational Arabic, and companion can make arrangements to get our people to have this. We can use technology. You can use a CD that you can put in your car, and you are listening and so on as you go around. It's a challenge for us because that's one language. It's one language that cuts across. I think we can solve that problem that way. The level of poverty in Nigeria, we should not waste time on it. We know it's a reality. But the question is this. When we go on Hajj, You spend so much money, yes. But Allah has made it very simple. Liman istata'a ilayhi sabil. That's being able to do it. That being able to do it is one of the conditions for Hajj. If you are not capable of Hajj, don't go on Hajj. And I think something about that is that we should know that the problem of this country is failure of leadership and government abandonment. I can assure you, if government is well done, if corruption is fought, and people have opportunities, many ordinary Nigerians go on Hajj easily. And if they cannot go now, they can go later. In Indonesia, that's what they call Taban Hajj. You start putting up money for the next 5 years. In fact, it is a rule that if you attend Hajj this year, you cannot go again until another 5 years. The population is very high, and to be able to manage it, they don't allow this type of headache we have. So you start putting money together, after 5 years you go. And it's what anybody can do. And I will not be surprised that what it takes you to go on Hajj is no more than what it takes ordinary European to go on leave. Because what they do is they leave everything and get out of Europe. They go to Zimbabwe, Egypt, Nigeria. They go in a team, ordinary civil servants. So if you put the money together for some years, you can go on Hajj if you so wish. But I think people will be able to do that if governance becomes better. I know that for those of us, even with little companies, if the problem of power can be solved, if all the money that you spend on diesels and so on can be plowed back to your business, productivity will be better, price of goods will come down while you have made your own profit, and ordinary people will be better, and then they will be able to afford to go on Hajj. So I think it is high time for us to emphasize during Hajj period by telling our ulama to use part of the time they spend not just talking about the rituals of Hajj, but to emphasize the need for government to be more responsible and more responsive, to make it easy for our people to live the good Muslim life. And related to that is the question of Hajj sponsorship. I've worked on Hajj sponsorship a lot, and either you like it or not, my own take on it is that Hajj sponsorship should be cancelled. Already, the government subsidizes Hajj by about 1 billion naira per year. So much money. The idea is, even it is part of the politics of Hajj, that Christian pilgrimage at gate crashed because it is not enjoined as a compulsory thing for them. But some scholars believe that if government can allow Christian pilgrimage, then the tension will come down. But you know the tension has not come down at all. So the question is, Hajj sponsorship is additional siphoning of Nigeria's money. It allows for abuses. And I think the solution is very easy. We have it in one of our leaders. During my research, I saw in the archive that Sadana of Sokoto, Alhaji Ahmadu Bello, was admired by everybody in the country. You know, he was a very glamorous politician. And I saw correspondences of people asking Sadana to sponsor them on Hajj. And his response had always been one line: Hajj is not compulsory. Go when you are able to. Allah will help you. Even when media houses, he was premier. Media houses will write that they will like to come on Hajj. You know, he was going on Hajj every year. That they will like to come on Hajj to record his Hajj. He will say no problem as long as your establishment will sponsor it. And it's the premier that will release funds to the establishment. And they know that they will have to account for the money, so they won't do it. I think we should learn something, in spite of all our complaint about the nationalists, we should learn something about them. That they were not as greedy as we are today. And they don't care for political patronage as we do it today. Why? Because they are sincere with governance and they are not ready to waste money. I think both the sponsors and the people being sponsored are just abusing Nigeria's economy. Government sponsorship should be such that we can make the money make life better for the people so that the people can afford to go and hire themselves. You talk about decadence, you talk about infrastructural rot. It is true and it is sad, and it is not because we cannot do it, but because rather than doing the right thing so that people will start asking questions if you don't do it, we use high sponsorship like other patronages to close the mouth of the population. I think we should discourage it. And then again, you talk about the pilgrim that he sponsored himself and he has his problem. Actually, it's a very big fraud. Because sometimes, when they say they sponsor you on Hajj, they pay your fare to go. You have to do for the BTA, and you don't have the BTA. So you have to go around begging for money. And sometimes you see somebody going on Hajj, and Hajj is almost there, and is so anxious. I think if you want to sponsor somebody on Hajj, pay the fare, pay for accommodation, pay for boarding, pay for feeding. But then the person you want to sponsor, you are wicked. If you say go on Hajj and you know that this person's children are not in school, this person's business has gone down, or she has just lost her business or her job, I think you should do that and encourage and help the person to be brought up. Then later the person can say, I want to go on Hajj. You can help. But you see, it is never for free. Most of our people who sponsor people on Hajj, they don't do it for God's sake. It is a business thing. Sometimes, especially the Afars, they sponsor them on Hajj to go on Hajj to pray specially for them. And you see, it's an abuse of knowledge. If you go on Hajj for pilgrimage, you go on Hajj for pilgrimage. If you as a person, you want to become something, for example, you can go there and pray. But to say this Afar should go to come and satira so that your opponent will lose and so on, it's abuse. And it tells us also that we as organizations should try as much as possible to empower our alphas. I don't believe in alpha mobile name of Fatia Deni, but you buy. Abi àwọn alpha lobomisagewa. Knowledge is such that is better and bigger than money. Sayyidina Ali radiyallahu anhu said, when you spend money, it diminishes. But when you spend knowledge, it increases. Radina bil ulumi takunu fina mukhalladatan walibtuha liman. Fa inna limala yafna an qarib. Fa inna li'alim baqin la yazal. We are happy with the knowledge we have. It is only the ignoramus that looks for money. Because money finishes very soon. But knowledge is there forever. And that brings us back to the question of learning Arabic. You know, in those days, they say, when you get on Hajj with whatever you have, you are an MD, you are a professor, you cannot speak ordinarily with a policeman to ask him, how do I get to Shah Mansour? Then it means that that man you think is an ordinary person who knows Arabic is better. Bring that man nearer you and give him a job for 2-3 months to teach you Arabic. Next Hajj, you speak your Arabic to the policeman and you enter the shop to transact business with Arabic. So Allah will help us. Well, I think the other things are testimonies to what Allah has done with Hajj. But I can assure you this. As far as I am concerned, and I'm sure as far as you are concerned, Hajj is one source of sakina and rahama for us. And we should convert it. But liman istata'a ilayhi ilayhi sabila. If you are able to do it, but it's very easy. Ibrahim had called, and the Quran is there. Get close to our fast. They will give you the verses you will be reciting, and I can assure you, this very hard, before it closes, you may go if you want to go. If you believe in Allah. But if it fails this time, you say, Allah, I want to make next Hajj. Dear Allah, and you will see whether you will do it or not. But remember, the Quran has said, فَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي عَنِّي فَإِنِّي قَرِيبٌ أُجِيبُ دَعْوَةَ الدَّاعِ إِذَا دَعَانِي فَلْيَسْتَجِيبُوا لِي فَلْيُؤْمِنُوا بِي. You prophets of Allah, if my servants, if my slaves ask of you concerning me, tell them I'm very near. I am very near, and I answer the prayers of those who pray to me. But you know what? It gives a condition. When you pray, you have to ask him. But at the end of it all, you must answer Allah first. And that is, you believe in him and you do all he wants of you. Like Salat, whose time has come now. May this Allah to help us and make us better Muslims. Amen.
Surah Al-Kafir for our lecture of today. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.
He's the sustainer and the maintainer of the whole universe. La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah. Muhammad is the messenger to Allah.